this is Noreen from Joy Cards and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up! Card videos, please like and subscribe, hit that little bell, and you'll be notified when my videos release. So now let's go make a card. Hello everybody, today's video we're going to make a card using WildlifeWonder. I'm going to show you 3 cards and we're going to make one. And I'm also going to show you how to cut these out on the BrotherScanNCut. So first of all, when I get a new set, I do like to stamp it out and see how it stamps. And these images come out really nice. I love, like, they've got the shading and everything, and it's awesome. Now, there are some issues with coloring it because it has shading, and like with the wolf that I did in one of the cards, they come out kind of muddy. So I'll show you how I corrected that problem. But also, we're going to be using the BrotherScanNCut, and what I've done here, here's the bear with no edge on it. Here's the bear with it offset like 0.04. And here's the wolf and the owl offset 0.08. So you can put a border around it like really nice, like it had a die. Or you can just leave them plain like I like to do. I don't generally like a lot of borders. Or you can stamp these things out on white paper and use colored ink. You can stamp them out on colored paper like so. So let me show you the 3 cards I've done. The first card, what I've done here is real simple. Now, I love, and I just did a video on the New Horizons paper. I love it. I'm ordering more of this stuff because it'll be around for a little while. So it's just great with everything. So I just took my layered circles and cut out the largest circle here, and then I cut out a smaller circle and I sponged it with some basic gray. I stamped the owl in basic black and used a little Daffodil Delight Stampin' Right marker to do his little nose there. And then this rectangle is actually made from layering 2 of the rectangle stitched frames. If you take the largest one and the second largest and then cut them out together, it makes this frame here. It's really nice. And then the tag is from Ornate Frames, and I just stamped in Memento here. So this was really cute. And then on the inside, I just made it real basic and took the inside from the rectangle stitched frames when I made this frame and put it on the inside of the card and just stamped it with the little shrubbery here. So this is card 1. Here's card number 2. Now the bear and the owl from the first card, I cut them on the BrotherScanNCut with no edge. So, and we're going to show you that in the last card because we're going to make the last card. And by the way, I give away the demo card. So I've got 3 here. It's for first-time subscribers. Like, subscribe. You have to put in the comments that you're a new subscriber, you want to win the demo card, and leave your email address so I can talk to you. So that's how you win the card. So anyway, with this one, it's just a basic black background. All these cards are 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I took the Beauty of the Earth DS paper, which is also really pretty. It has the tree kind of background. And then I cut out of the dies from Majestic Mountain in Mossy Meadow and Old Olive and did these trees. And then took those rectangle stitched frames again. And this wood paper is also from Beauty of the Earth. And then this is basic white stamped in Memento and just put it up on dimensionals here. And then on the inside, I took that Beauty of the Earth paper again, basic white, and just stamped a couple of the trees from Mountain Air. So this is the second one, and now let's get to the third one. Okay, here's the third card that we're going to make. And what I did is took a basic white base, which is 5.5 by 4 1/4, and then I'm going to take some basic black, and this basic black is cut 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and we can go ahead and just nail that up onto the card base because this is a no-brainer. So you've got that little tiny edge of white poking out. Now we're going to grab a piece of that New Horizons paper, which, like I said, I just love it. You can use these for a million different ideas. Some of them just have a watercolor background. Some of them look like mountains like this one. And it's just crazy awesome. So we're going to take this and we're going to cut this down. And let me go ahead and grab my cutter here. And this is the Stampin' Up cutter. And by the way, everything that I'm using on the cards here will be in the description of my video. So you can go to my video and just click down on that arrow and you'll find all the dimensions, all the stamp sets I use. Also, there's a link, you can click on it and you can place an order. So go, yeah, do that. So anyway, here's the paper and I'm looking at the mountain scene. This is what the back looks like, just so you have a reference. Okay, and I want this part of the mountain. So I'm going to turn it upside down. So I'm looking at the mountain upside down and I'm going to cut this to 4. So I'm going to cut that off just like so. Now I'm going to turn it over. I want the water here. This looks like water to me. This looks like a mountain to me. This looks like sky. So I'm going to turn this to the side here and I'm going to cut the sky. And I'm going to do this at 5 3/8, so just shy of 5.5, so 5 3/8. So that is my base. Now I'm going to take this stamp right here and get out my early espresso and stamp this up, and we are going to stamp the bottom of the lake here. And I'm going to get a good amount, and I want to avoid any spaces as much as I can. Just do the very edge like so. Now if you leave some spaces, like I've got some white here, just go ahead and do it again. And I'm stamping on a piece of scratch paper if you didn't already notice. And that's okay if you missed it, because you know the ground isn't all one level, so it's not a big deal. So I'm just going to get rid of the white, just like that. So now I'm going to put in some birds, and I'm going to use on the horizon, these birds right here. And when you use the birds, just make sure you don't have them like upside down, you know. So anyway, so make sure they're right side up. Take a little memento and put them all the way over to the right hand side like that. Now we're going to put in the little foliage right here with some old olive, and I'm just going to put it all the way over on the right off of that ground here. And then we're going to jump to the inside, because the inside is also that old olive, and I'm going to be using the stamp from On the Horizon, since we're using it anyway for the birds. Now the inside, the basic black is going to be 5 1/4 by 4, and the basic white is going to be 375 by 5, and we'll go ahead and put this on inside the card. So I'm going to put on my black first, and then always, as a rule, stamp before you put it in your card, because if you mess up, then you're not like pulling it off. So I'm going to use old olive again. I'm going to use this stamp right here because it kind of looked nice with it, and just put it on like that so it looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and snail it up and put it in. So now the inside of the card is done, and as you can tell, we're doing all the easy stuff first before we get to the wolf, because I'm going to show you the BrotherScanNCut. I'm going to show you how I colored him so he doesn't look, you know, muddy. As for the tag, I'm using this tag, or this die from Ornate Frames. Put it on my nice magnetic plate, stick it back into the sleeve where it originally came from. And we're going to go ahead and stamp this in memento as well. And this is a great card for a guy. So you can put to a great guy. And then when you're ready to give out this card, then you can put your sentiment in, whether it's a happy birthday or congratulations or whatever you want to put. I never really put anything inside my cards for the sentiment, because you just never know who you're going to give it to. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that, and we can go ahead and put them up on dimensionals, because the last part is going to be the tricky part with the wolf. So I've got my dimensionals on, and I'm just going to put that over here. And we can even put this on the card, because all we have to do is put the wolf on, and then we're done. So let's go ahead and put this in the middle. So the reason why I'm doing this card is because this wolf was a little tricky. Unlike the bear, who's not attached to anything, and the owl, which does have this piece of wood here, it's not so bad, but this wolf was a little tricky, because how do you get the wolf to be one color and the log to be another color? And I stamped him so many different ways. I tried to watercolor it. I just try to use my, like one of these blender pens. I tried to use the Stampin' Rights and the blending. Anyway, so what I came up with, because I didn't like, this one came out the best, but I didn't like all the white on the wood. Wood isn't white. So this is what I did. First of all, and I experimented with stamping it like an early espresso or one of the other colors to get a kind of a more brown, and that didn't work as well either. So what I decided is that the Memento worked the best. So I'm going to put it on a card here. Now, I know a lot of people don't have a BrotherScanNCut. So after we color them and everything, if you want to just fussy cut it, that's perfectly fine. But for those of you who want to stick around and see the BrotherScanNCut, because it is very, very different from like a Cricut. I get a lot of questions about a Cricut because I have one as well. And what the Brother does is exactly what it says. It's a scanner. You take like a stamped image like this and we scan it, and then we're going to cut it. With the Cricut uses a library of images. And in the old days, a long time ago, they used to have like cartridges and you plug the cartridge in, and then they went to an online thing, and now they just sell the online. So you Bluetooth it to your computer, and there's a library of images that you can work from. That's not what a BrotherScanNCut does. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead, and we've got the wolf stamped in Memento. Now I'm going to grab my light crumb cake, and I'm going to lightly color the wolf. So I'm going to just lightly color him in, and I'll be right back. So here he is in the light crumb cake. And you know what I was having a problem with is it just started, because this stamp is really cool. It does all those like shadings and everything, but when you put too much color on it, it just muddies it up. And so this kind of worked the best. And then you could take your dark crumb cake if you want to be adventurous, and maybe put in a few highlights on him, maybe over his haunch and everything, or his face where it comes in, or the inside of his ears, just to give him a little definition. You can do that if you are feeling that will work for you, just a little bit, not a lot. And then with the log, that was the other thing. It's like, I want the log to be a different color from the wolf. So we're going to take our light soft suede. So I've got this really light looking beige with a lighter looking kind of brown, and I'm going to color in the entire log, because I didn't like the one that I did that the log was white, because that, you know, I'm trying to make this kind of a realistic looking card rather than like a cartoony kind of card. And I know that there's a hunch right here, but we're going to talk about that in a minute when we get to the BrotherScanNCut. So I'm going to color through that little part where it looks like maybe a rock is there. I'm doing something different. So I'm going to just go ahead and color this in. Don't forget, like I said, I give away the demo cards. If you're a first-time subscriber, like, subscribe, and put in the comments you're a new subscriber, you want to win the demo card, and leave your email so I can contact you and I'll send it out, because I need to be able to talk to you. And also I need to know if you're a new subscriber, because YouTube doesn't tell me that kind of stuff. So I'm also going to take the dark soft suede, and I'm going to put in a line between the doggy, or the wolf, and the log here, so you can see that it's separate. And then while I'm at it, we're going to jump a little bit to the instructions on the BrotherScanNCut, because this is the time where it's important. Now, if you don't have one, you can just fussy cut this out. It's not that big of an issue. He's not too hard to do. But the BrotherScanNCut really gives this nice, that's my phone, nice clean cut, so it doesn't look like I did it, you know, because I'm not the best at doing it. So right now I'm just putting a little definition in the log here, but also, okay, here's our first part of the ScanNCut lesson. The ScanNCut goes in and it scans, like it'll scan this image. And what it does is it follows the outline. And if there's a break in the outline, it's going to kind of want to go into it. So whenever you're cutting anything, you got to make sure it's a complete closed circle. So while I'm going around kind of giving this a little highlight, there are parts of this log that kind of like something goes off and it's not connected. You want to make sure everything is connected here. So there's a line to everything. And I'm just closing up those parts where it might want to go in. And then go back on the dog part, and I'm going to go ahead and use my dark crumb cake and make sure that it's closed as well. Because I know that there are parts like right around the hair here or the ear that it might lose contact between the wolf's leg here and the log. Just make sure it's all closed up and everything looks to be closed. So everything is closed and everything is colored. Now let's go to the BrotherScanNCut. Now I have a BrotherScanNCut DX, okay? And all the machines take different kind of mats. The BrotherScanNCut DX, I don't know if you can see it, and this will be in the details of my video. This number right here has to be this mat. A lot of people are having complaints. In fact, I did too. I have purchased the wrong mat myself, and I was really, really careful. So that part number I just showed you, which I will show you in the detail on my video, is very, very important. If you don't have that, it will not work. It'll look exactly like this mat, but if it's the different mat, it won't go in. Also, if you've had this machine, or if you never had a BrotherScanNCut and you want to get one, let me tell you right off the bat, their mats stink. It's not like a Cricut mat where you can like repurpose it and reglue it and it's awesome. No, these are not like that at all. First of all, they lose their stickiness right away. So you're going to need to get some tape and hold it down. Now, I use the delicate frog tape on everything when I'm cutting dies and all that. It works great, and I can use this tape over and over and over again, and it's awesome. So you do need to tape it down relatively soon after you start using it. It's ridiculous. Also, if you notice, there's an arrow right here on the mat. This is the part that goes into the machine. If you do it this way, it won't read it. So you have to make sure it goes in this direction. Also, if you've had this mat for a while on the machine and it's great and you're working on it, and all of a sudden your mat's not feeding in, it's because it has a life expectancy. So once it stops feeding in properly, you have to get a new mat. There's just no way around that. And like I said, make sure you've got the right mat. So I've got my Wolfie here. He's taped down, and now we're gonna go to the machine. So here is my BrotherScanNCut DX. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it on, and it's gonna go through its warm up. And I'm gonna open up the front here. Now, I have done 3 videos on the BrotherScanNCut. I did an offset video where I offset a tag that didn't have a bigger tag. Anyway, I offset it. That I did on October 31st, 2021. I did a basic tutorial video on September 12th, 2021. And I did a resizing video. That's where I stamped an image, scanned it, and I made it bigger. You can also make it smaller. So that video I did on September 17th, 2020. So now we've got the machine and it's doing its thing. And the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit the home button, which is this one right here. I just hit that. And you're going to get this message. Now in its little cubby here, there's a little stylus. And I'm going to hit OK. And what that is going to do is it's going to move these rollers. I don't know if you heard that or not, but the rollers moved. That's really important that you do that first. Because if you try to load the mat without doing that, it's going to try to warm it up or, do its thing, and it won't load in the mat. It's a stupid thing that I had to figure out all on my own. So now I'm going to try to do this one-handed here. I'm going to take the mat, and you notice that arrow is pointing into the machine. If you do it the other way, it won't work. Now I'm going to go over to my load the mat. That's that button, and it takes it right in. Like I said, if it doesn't go in, it's either because the arrow isn't going in, or you got the wrong mat, or the mat is old and it says, nope, you have to buy a new mat. That's just the way it is. So now the first thing we're going to do, and this machine does a lot of stuff, but for the most part, this is the majority of what I do, is I just stamp something and I want it cut out. So I'm going to go and I'm going to hit scan. Now, not to get into it too much, but you could take images from your computer. You can take images from a thumb drive. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff, but we're just going mat to machine. And right now, all you need to do is hit scan. Okay. And then you're going to do direct cut because we're cutting from this mat. We're not cutting from a USB or computer. We're just cutting from the mat. So hit the mat and there, the machine or computer. It's a machine. And then some gook we don't care about, just hit start. And then what it's going to do now is it's going to scan. Now make sure you have enough room on the other side of your wall because that would be bad. So it's scanning it right now. And then we're going to get this. Okay. Now you can take and you can just pull this in right to your image. We're just moving it in. So it only knows that you only want that area to cut. So if you had like some DS paper, which is great for this, and you just wanted to use maybe this much, a quarter of it, to cut some images out, then you can just scoot it into that part and I'll only cut that area. So this is really good. And then we're going to hit OK. And then it's going to think about it. It's like, maybe. All right, I guess so. All right. And then you get to this spot. Now, you don't really need to do anything on this spot here. Just hit OK. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the edit. Okay, edit means, okay, I scanned in this area, and if there was like a pencil mark or I didn't go in further enough to get the tapes out, it might show stuff. But this is also where you're going to see, okay, I'm going to cut this. And if you didn't close up your complete circle, it might go in and do some crazy things. So this is where you know if you've got it correct. So I'm going to go to edit and see there's a red box around here. And guess what? It's perfect because if I try to go to the left or the right to see other things that it was scanning on the image, it would go to it, but this one was perfect. So if I accidentally, here, let's go back. I'm going to hit OK, but I'm going to go back to the original scan. Okay, let's pull in those tapes. So I'm going to pull this out a little bit. I just want to show you what it would look like. So let's say you did that and those tapes are in there. And that could be tape, it could be a pencil mark, it could be another design, it could be anything. Okay, and then we're going to go hit through that page. Don't worry about that one. And now I'm going to go to edit. Okay, you see how it knew the edge of the paper here? Oh, I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to trash that and go OK. And then I'm going to go next because that image was the wolf. Now it's going to that tape. So we're going to get rid of that tape and OK. And then that was it. So you go to the arrows and make sure you've got all the stuff you don't want out. So now I'm going to hit OK. That was edit. The other thing I wanted to show you was this. Outline distance. Remember when I showed you these cuts? This was with no outline. This is 0.04 and these two here are 0.08. If you want an outline, this is where you go. So if I wanted an outline, here's that 0.4, here's that 0.8. But I don't want an outline at all because I don't. So I'm going to go make sure this is 0 and OK. It brings you back to that edit part and now hit OK again. And it's going to say, please select. And this is the part where you go select and we're cutting. Okay. And now, and I don't need to test it or anything. So it's going to cut this. So I'm going to just hit start. It's going to bring it in. And it's just going to cut that 1 image. And it's cutting around, and it's not very big, so it won't take very long at all. And that's it. Now, over here, I'm going to hit OK because it's finished cutting. If this was something that, like maybe a star or one image you wanted to cut a million times, you could take the you could take this out and put more paper on it and keep cutting. So anyway, not to get too detailed about it, but that's it. So now I don't need to do anything anymore. So I'm going to hit home. It's going to get rid of that scan. Okay, and I'm going to hit the eject the mat here, and that's all. Now I'm back at my desk here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this up, and I can reuse these tapes because they're fantastic. And look, I cut that out, and I'm going to take my, it's funny, it's a crooked spatula, and here is my Wolfie. Isn't he cute? And he's absolutely perfect. Now a finishing up part of the wolf, because this was done on white paper and it has a white core, I'm going to take my Stampin' Right Basic Black. You can get just the basic black Stampin' Right in the catalog. It's like $4. I use this all the time. Totally worth it. I'll put it in the description of my videos. You can click on the link and place an order with me. Anyway, so because this has a white core to it, we're going to take the Stampin' Right on the fluffy end, on the big end, and I'm just going to edge it. Do it really slow because I have done the whoopsie across the entire thing. So just take it around the edge and get rid of any of that white that might poke out. So it just looks a lot cleaner and better. So just like that. So I put some dimensionals on the back of our little wolf dude, and we're going to put it on the card, and that's it. That's the card. So don't forget, I give away the demo card. I actually have 4 here. So if you're a first-time subscriber, like, subscribe, put in the comment, I'm a first-time subscriber. I want to win the card. Put your email so I can talk to you. And I know you're a first-time subscriber. You can't just talk to me. It's like, I have like thousands of subscribers. So it's like, I don't know who you are. Anyway, so, but that'll do it for me. Thanks. Bye.